Hello, 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 hello. I hope this thing works. I don't know. I'll look rather silly if it's not. Oh, yeah, it's working. I saw the bar move. That means it can hear me. Hello, everyone. Well, today, my hair looks silly like that. Hang on. No, I still look like alfalfa, but whatever. Alfalfa it is then. Anyway, uh, I was just haven't done a video in a long time. I felt the vlog style video is a good idea. No particular reason. I was watching one of Odin's men's videos, and I thought about this video, and I thought, it's a good choice, a good topic for people. We can all be involved in it. Anyone can have an opinion about it, and let's get into it. So what I want to do in this video is I don't want to talk about a particular culture or way of life okay. Anyone from different countries who've grown up in different backgrounds are going to feel that their particular culture is the suitable one for any particular reason, and that's fine. Okay, so let's not talk about a culture as the defining trait for our best country. I thought there could be some things. I think when we're talking about Western countries, at least the main countries that come to mind would be America as the big dog, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. They're all about on par with each other. There isn't a huge amount of difference. Even you could say there is some, and there's such differences, but for the most part, the countries are very, very similar, and so kind of generically place them in the same sort of boat. And the reason why is just there's no point beating, like in Australia, we don't like to beat around the bush. We just go straight to what it is. And for the most part, most of these countries are pretty much the same. So there would be some people in the UK that would argue differently, in Canada and Australia. But look, I'm just saying, guys, for the most part, removing culture out of the equation, opportunity-wise, education-wise, health-wise, it's all very similar. So saying that these countries are different, it all comes down to timing, really. And I say that because one of the key things I think is important about a great country is its ability to create opportunities for the people that live there and for people that want to go there. Now, I'm talking about work. I'm talking about ability to get education. I'm talking about ability to make money. I mean, look, Australia probably falls short a little bit there because I'll give you an example. There was a guy or a group of people. They created the cochlear implant. They were Australian, and they went and approached Australian companies with this design. So this is going to revolutionize people's hearing who've lost their hearing. Got this great. It's going to be the next thing. And all the Australian people were like, no, we will not accept you because you are not part of our elite little special club, right? And they said, oh, okay, that's fine. No worries, mate. Enjoy your day. Then they went to America, became a billion-dollar industry over there. They're probably laughing. I mean, that goes to show you the difference there, okay? Australia has tall poppy syndrome, also special club syndrome, whatever you want to call it. If you're not part of the club, you're a nobody. So you're not going to get like time where it matters in the public eye. Talks with big companies, etc. Even if you've got a great revolutionary idea, nobody wants to hear it here. It's just stupid like that. I said it kind of like an American there. Stupid. Stupid like that. That's how it is. And it's always been that way. I don't think it's never been that way. And it's just one of those things. It doesn't encourage growth. It doesn't encourage innovation. It doesn't encourage technology and enterprise. I guess it's all the same thing. It only encourages one thing: mining. That's it. Right now, we're kind of like a banana republic. So, yep, we've got plenty of bananas. That's it. In this case, we've got plenty of ore. That's it. Enjoy. And then after that runs up, I guess we'll be like, oh, maybe we should have invested in other things other than just mining. Maybe. Oh, how silly of us. So, yeah, no, I feel as an Australian, I'm going to criticise my own nation where there's point to be criticised. Being a banana republic is a point to be criticised. It's dumb, it's backwards, and we should be promoting innovation and technology and seeing what these young people can actually do. Like we have a really good education system here, top of the line, as good as any top first world country's education system. We used to get a lot of foreign students coming here for a reason, because even though it's really expensive, like ridiculously expensive for a foreign student to study here, I don't even know where they get the money from. Like seriously, if it was me, I'd just be like, no, I'm good. I'll stay in my country. I'll get an education there and see where that takes me. Like seriously, I wouldn't even bother. Like the amount of money you have to spend, like you're like 10 steps backwards before you even make a step forward. You know, like just like when you have to heavily invest that much money, as much as a house virtually, and then after that, you know, then maybe you can start making some headway on everything you just spent prior to that. Nah, that I draw the line at stupid, and that's stupid to me. I wouldn't even think about doing that. I'd take other options. There are other options in the world. Hell, I'd go small business over that. And I think small businesses are hairy as it is. So, you know, it's very hard to make it in a small business, but you can. But I think that would have more opportunity. Like seriously, wouldn't even worry about the you know, you just go get a trade and then start a business somewhere. Like, okay, I'm the plumber and my plumbing business is going to go. That's it, something like that. Right? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. That so we got a lot of highly educated people, and we don't get mining companies, we don't get pharmaceutical companies, we don't get anyone like from any big enterprise going up to those universities and going, I want you to take your 30, you know, postgrad students who want to go on and do big things and have got ideas. I'm going to give them like start them, or we're going to start them on a small project, for example, to start with like 5-10 grand. Or let's say 20, because we've got to pay the person. So we're going to say we're going to give you like a 3-month program or something. See what you can do. Show me what it is that's going to separate you from the weeds or separate you from the rest. And then if you've got big ideas after that, maybe we can talk, you know. I would start there. Hell, I tell you, I've got ideas I've shared with my friend on about like a power station. Could actually build that for about 20 grand quite easily. And all I can say is it could revolutionize a lot of power issues for people where you would have a lot of free power. All right. It wouldn't come from nothing, but the power being able to be so minimal on maintenance and put like a big casing around it, and you would never even see the thing. It would just be like next to a building is this great big, like, this, you know, like a generator sticking out of the floor. That would be about it. I mean, it's not even that hard to even comprehend. It's pretty simple, really, but it doesn't matter. Would never ever get off the ground because people here don't want innovation. They want backwards. So backwards is what we get. So another thing to criticise about the Australians is our government. Our government is elitist group. It's basically the only way you get in power is if you're in Labor or Liberal, and if you have friends in mainstream media, and if you've got corporate donors like the real estate companies and everything, basically going, yeah, no, we want you because you are what represents us, right? So that's why people like me, or people like you, or people like, your policeman down the street, or your local judge, or whatever, or your local doctor, or anything like that, just local random is never going to make it, because we're not in that club. You understand? Like, we're not a part of their little bubble. We're not. That's why they're untrustworthy. That's why nobody listens to them or believes a thing they say. And that's why they're always sort of hawkishly looked at like, what are you really doing, mate? Like, we don't trust you from a bar of soap. Like, well, I suppose you've got to trust a bar of soap, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. So unless you're a part of this tiny, tiny group of people, and I'll tell you, all the politicians and in Australia, and you can check this up in federal positions, look it up, all right? Look this up, because you will see they all come from the same school, the exact same school. They all went to the same high school. They all went to the same colleges. They're all a part of their same little group they've always been a part of. And that's why they look down at the rest of us, because they think we're beneath them. They think that we're not. That's why they don't get us, because they've never lived a life. You know what I'm saying? So look it up. See for yourself. All right? There might be people in federal power that aren't a part of this group. And I can think of my local MP in the area, and I think possibly she's not, because she's from this area and she grew up in a farm area. So, but she's never going to get a top dog position, is she? She's not going to be agricultural minister. She's not going to be education minister, or, well, I don't know that she has a background in that, so I don't think so. But I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter with these politicians, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that is a negative to this country. That is not something to be looked at and gone, oh, that's a good thing. You go, no, that's a bad thing. That's a terrible thing. That's not something that we want in this country, but it is something that happens. So I've been bashing our country for like 12 minutes straight here. Sorry, guys, but it has to be said. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk about the greatest countries. Got to air out the shit first, if you know what I'm saying. Like, and I deliberately made this video not for children, so we can sweat. All right, so we can sweat if we need to. Right. So as far as this, now we've ruled all the dirty laundry out. Let's talk about realism. All right. So things that make countries great. We talk about opportunity. Right. Well, in Australia, it's a country that is being built right now. There's still a lot of infrastructure, everything going on. Lots of building. Huge amounts of building, huge amounts of things coming up and up. That's why Australia is growing very rapidly, very rapidly. I mean, when you compare it with other nations around the world, the speed at which Australia is growing is redonkulous. Like, it is up there. It is something that you could be like, yeah, we are doing that well. Like, we are knocking that out of the park. Really building hard, really building fast. Don't know if that's going to make us too big for our boots one day, possibly, but I guess we'll see. I mean, I've always thought that there should be like a limit to how much you grow, to how much money you make, etc. So I don't know. Like, I've always felt that, like, it's like you don't get a credit card. You don't get a credit card for one reason. You don't spend money you don't have. All right. So same with countries. Shouldn't spend money you don't have, because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. See that around the world, even here. Like, America is probably the worst for it right now, borrowing a lot of money it doesn't have. Well, it's not a good strategy, and it means that you've got a long way to go before you get back to zero. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even go down that road. Personally, I'd just be settling debts. I'd be like, right, we owe this much money. Let's start paying it back quick as we can. Don't want debt, so get rid of that as fast as we can, and let's just get back on doing what we do for ourselves and growing the country with the rate at which things happen. But that's how I see it. Yeah. So opportunity, I think Australia is right up there in like the ability to get a job somewhere if you want to work and try and make something of yourself. So I think got big points there, you know, like trouble I see is a lot of people come from non-English speaking countries and really struggle for the first 5 years, at least 3 to 5 years, just trying to acclimatize to the culture, trying to learn the language and trying to make it. And it's very expensive. Like living in Australia, the inflation is really high. I'm not sure exact reasons for all of that. I'm hoping one day it'll all come back down to a happy medium or whatever. But currently, inflation is through the roof. So living expenses are just really high. Like, give you an idea, at the moment, as of February 18th, 2022, petrol prices are $1.80 per litre. I don't know what that is in gallons. I think, is it 4 litres to a gallon or something? Very high. I guess that's around the world. It's all the same, but, you know, that's a lot of money for fuel. Like, pretty sure that's some price gouging right there. If you were to take another generic thing like the antigen test for COVID, the RAT test, if you don't have a healthcare card, if you don't have any health concessions whatsoever, just like me, just a regular dude, and you want to buy 5 of them, $75. Yeah, $75 for 5 COVID tests. That's why I'm just like, yeah, no work can pay for those. I'll get it done when I go to work. Or, you know, not when I go to work before, like work, give me a couple and say, there you go, we'll sign them out to you. They're yours. You know, be careful, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Perfectly fine with that. But yeah, that's how much inflation is. You know, that to me, that test should not cost that. I mean, that'd be like a pregnancy test. It's a very similar type of test. So why are we paying $75 for that? Hello, Freebird. How are you? BS19. Yes. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was using that as an example, talking about inflation and just catching you up. Currently, like in Australia, the antigen test, the COVID, like a pack of 5, $75. That's how much it costs. If you want to go to the pharmacy and buy, this is with no health concession cards, whatever. You can get them cheaper if you've got the concession cards, pension card, whatever. But for the most part, regular people, if you want 5 tests for whatever reason, $75. That is a lot of money. Obviously, you keep your tax receipts on that because you're going to use them for work, whatever. You're not using them for personal use. You're using them to test yourself before work shifts. Okay, so no personal use on that one. Claim, my friends. So I'm just saying, just to save you some pain, because obviously, you know, the tax man is watching. Tax man is always watching. Never be sure. Right. So covered opportunity. Country where I think opportunity sort of is better in some ways is America. I think, like I said, with the innovation, technology. Oh, sorry. Like when I was describing about the about the, what do you call it, the cochlear implant, how the Aussie scientists and engineers end up going to America to get it done. What happens to the J&J, Johnson & Johnson jab not making it anymore? I don't know. Is that Moderna? I've had Moderna. I've had 3 shots. I've had Pfizer twice and Moderna once. So, yeah. So I found Moderna was the one that kicked the absolute snot out of me. Like Pfizer, I was fine. Didn't really notice much. Moderna, I was like, ugh, for a while. Like, you know, so it was like a day or two, something like that. But yeah. Yeah, so opportunity-wise, I think America is a little more accommodating. That if you have some go juice in you and you want to be someone, you do have. I'm not going to say everyone that goes to America is going to make lots of money, going to make it in life. Obviously, that's individual. What you do with yourself will determine how you succeed. Like, that's not going to be. That's got nothing to do with anyone else but you. So, drank from the poison well. I have to have it for work. It's fish. I maybe as I don't know. Yes. No. Yes. Anyway, yes. No, I needed the jabbies for work, so I can go to work. That's why. Anyway, regardless of all that, forget the jabs. Understood. Forget the jabs because jabs, who cares? But okay. So we've got Freebird, and who's a regular subscriber and commenter, and Red Chicken, not Red Chicken. Okay, yeah. And anyway, yeah. So opportunity-wise, I would say America is better than Australia, just for the sake that it has less tall poppy syndrome. So if you do end up start making it, people aren't going to cut you down or shut you out or treat you like you're garbage because you're making money. So I see that as, you know, that's, yeah. Because, I mean, for example, in Australia, we treat our billionaires like, oh, you bad billionaire, you. End of the day, they're just business people making money. Like, I don't really see the problem. They're not, it's, I don't care about them personally. I don't know them. I've only ever met one billionaire. I met Clive Palmer. That's it. I've never met anyone else. I don't know them. And I didn't get the feeling like, you know, what you see on the media and that. I didn't get any of that. I was just like, oh, he seems like a regular dude in most ways. So fair enough. It seemed like he wanted to do something positive, but was getting shut down at every opportunity. So that's all I could say. Do I agree with everything he does? No, of course not. I'm a human being. Can't agree with everything someone else does, just like they can't agree with everything I do. I'm just saying, from my personal interaction, that's all I got. Right? And yeah. So immigration-wise, I find that if we were to put points on immigration for people that want to immigrate to a particular country, first up, to people that want to immigrate, I would say pick a country that's similar to the country you grew up in. Changing to a totally different country is very hard, right? Most people can't do it. It's so hard. You're better off going to a country that speaks a similar language, has similar culture, has similar expectations. Maybe they've got more jobs. Talking about the biometric camera systems already being put in place in Australia's schools, inching closer to communism. Oh, yeah. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, when you look at talking about Australia and communism, Australia has one of the highest tax rates of any country. I think, okay, a lot of people think that it's just, 28%, 32%, whatever. I think it goes up to 48% if you earn above a certain amount of money. I know, right? Getting taxed nearly 50 cents to every dollar you make. That's crazy. But anyway, people forget you're taxed on your bills. You're taxed on your food. You're taxed on your petrol. You're taxed on your rates. You're taxed on literally everything you do. Tax rates here are very high. Very, very high. To the point where, yeah, you're almost paying the state half your wages that you earn back to the system that's working against you. I know, right? So yeah, communism, very close. Australia, very close. It says it's democratic, but I mean, when you really look at it, the one good thing we do is we provide a lot of services that a lot of other countries don't necessarily provide, but we do pay a lot of taxes and we don't have complete freedom here. Like, we are kept under the thumb to a certain extent as part of the plan. Yeah. And as for this biometric camera thing, yeah, I guess so. I think we got them at my work. If you're talking about the temperature thing, that takes you've got to set, like, it takes a photo, it tells you your temperature. Yeah, that we got them at workplaces as well. It's more than just schools. And that was just a way of streamlining people into the workplace a bit quicker. So, you're not standing there and going, oh, can someone test me? It's just like with the temp gun or whatever. They can just go, oh, yeah, stand there, flash, okay, go, flash, go. I think that was the purpose of it. I don't think there was anything other than that. So, yeah, we're talking about immigration, right? Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I think immigrating to a particular country, yeah, it's good. It'd be good just to choose a more successful version of your own country, or one that has the opportunities you're looking for. I mean, you shouldn't really put money into the equation. It should be whether or not you feel you can live there. That's more important. No, it's the same as China. Yeah, probably. We've got, Australia has a lot of dealings with China, so we probably would take a lot of stuff from them. That being one of them, So yeah. So immigration-wise, a lot of people might say, what countries do people want to immigrate to? And they'll always choose Western countries. Maybe true. Don't know about that. No, I've not seen the data on that. I would say a lot of Europeans would immigrate around European countries. I wouldn't see them going all the way out of Europe. Same reason I just mentioned. Like, you want to go to a country that speaks a language that you understand, has a lifestyle you understand, and has an opportunity for you to succeed. You don't necessarily want to go to a country that you have to completely learn everything from scratch, because that's really, really difficult. That's what I would say to those people. As like a whole, yes, Western countries seem to be more favored over Asian countries and European countries, and countries like that. Yeah, I would say, not sure of the exact reasoning behind all that. Freebird wants to immigrate to Canada, eh? They got maple syrup over there. Lots of maple syrup. I'll tell you all about their maple syrup. You get 100 different flavors of maple syrup. I'm told Canada is one of the best countries to go visit if you want to go on a holiday. Very nice country. So, yeah. So, I've been told this by a lot of people that from Australia. So, Australians, we take a lot of Kiwis, South Africans, English. Don't see many Americans. I've met like one or two, but South Africans, heaps. Yeah, Kiwis, heaps. English, lots. You know what though? We tend to give the opportunity to pretty much anyone that wants to come here. It's just hard. Immigration to get in here is very difficult. And like I said about the cost of living is very high. And that's what makes it difficult for anyone to immigrate here, because starting with nothing, the country just kind of clubs you into nothingness. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically just says, oh, you've got no money. Well, give us all your no money and go live on the street. That's basically happens. Just to slap the black face off Justin Trudeau. Oh my God. I've seen that photo too. Oh, what a hypocrite that guy is. I'm going to go grab a beer in a minute because I am dying of thirst. Stinking hot here today. It's about 38 degrees, which is about 107 degrees Fahrenheit. It is flipping hot. So, yeah. That's one thing Australia's got bad of. Our weather sucks. No one ever talks positively about the weather. Like, only like small times of the year where you're like, oh, it's not trying to melt us alive or freeze us to death. It's okay. And then it's like, oh no, back to trying to boil us in an oven or trying to freeze us to death. So yeah, back to that again. But yeah, yeah. I'm just going to go grab a beer, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I was going to turn the light on. Yes, my girl. Yes, my girl. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Oh, bloody chair. I'm going to get you for this. Crap, more chairs. Oh. Right. Draining the snake. Your mic is too sensitive, bro. Oh, I was talking to the cat. Yeah, I talked to my cat. And then when I sat down, the chair tried to send me through the old, it's not screwed in properly. So it's this. Check this out. Yeah, that's my chair. So, yeah, I haven't fixed it. I can. I'm just being lazy. Anyway, yeah. So immigration-wise, I say there'd be points to Western countries there. Equality-wise, which I think is a big important thing, like chances of people, like lifestyle-wise, I think the countries that fall short are the ones that have a very big difference between people who are poor and people who are rich. I think if there's a middle class, I think that encourages growth, personally. I think the middle class is what determines whether you get out of being poor or if you've got a chance to be rich. I don't really see a country that has third world sort of disparity where people are going to go from being dirt poor to uber rich. Can see people getting from uber rich to dirt poor, but personally, I think if a country doesn't have a middle class or doesn't encourage a middle class, I kind of feel like those countries are always going to be less on the scale of you want to go, because you're either going to go there and be dirt poor or you're going to be uber rich. And I feel like you kind of have to be uber rich to even start that. So kind of a bit pointless. And then why would you go to a country like, I don't know, let's say Turkey, for example, and, start buying up lots of real estate or start building a company there or something. Like, it's not likely, just because the disparity, there's no way for anything to really become too successful. Like, it'll just kind of drain your money, and then you'll be left at the bottom with everyone else. So kind of don't really see that as a just personally, I don't view any country without a middle class as like a country that you would willingly want to go to. If it's got the makings of building a middle class and having that, then by all means. But that's something I think the West has done well. And if you look at the growth of countries, it's countries with a middle class that have grown the fastest or grown the most, not countries where there's a huge disparity. Like take Japan, for example. You would think Japan being like the 5th biggest economy in the world. You've got to go. Thanks, Freebird. Thanks for the positive comment. I appreciate that. So taking Japan, for example, Japan has really, really wealthy companies. And yet, one thing you'll notice is it also has uber poor people. We get people, before all this COVID stuff, we had people from Japan come here picking fruit on the farms. And I used to think to myself, why would you come to Australia to pick fruit? Like, yeah, you get paid all right, but like you could make tons of money in Japan. Like Japan is a huge economy, dwarfs Australia in so many ways. Like if you looked at it, you'd like, there's no comparison. Like Japan is very wealthy, but has a lot of poor people. And that I think is really sad. And I think the lifestyle over there is sort of like if your work is your lifestyle, that's it. You don't really have a social life. You don't really have time for family. You don't really have time for really much other than work. And that's normal and accepted over there. And I think it's not a good thing. I don't look at that and think there's got to be balance, Like with countries with like how they balance their economies, like a balanced economy is always going to work better than an unbalanced one. So your life. If you mean video my life, I think you'd find it kind of boring. So that's where I wouldn't give points to Japan. Like, it has a lot of money, doesn't have much of a middle class, and for some reason it has a lot of poor people and no enjoyment in life. I think that kind of sucks. We're not born on this earth to work to die. We're born on this earth to experience life, to work and enjoy and be a part of society. And when you take away some of those key elements, it's just basically not life. You can't call that life. Sorry, Japanese people. You're very lovely people. That's what I have to say. That's just like with India with its caste system. Now, I don't know if they still have that. But personally, what a backwards society that is. I'm not trying to offend you Indians, but a caste system is stupid. All right? It should only matter what you can do for yourself and what you're prepared to do and how you're prepared to succeed. I think a lot of younger people in India are trying to do just that thing, and they're getting away from the caste system. But the idea that if you were born a beggar, then all you will be in life is a beggar. You will be nothing else. You were never expected to be anything else, and never will you be treated as anything else. That to me is BS, okay? Absolute BS. Should not be a part of society in any modern society. And India, you need to do away with that dumbness right there. All right? People should be treated with the respect that they earn as individuals, not treated by what their family was, Who cares what their family was? Their family has nothing to do with them as an adult. And that should be the paramount thing there. As life is when you're an adult. You got nothing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? What you do is solely relying on you. Like how far you go in life is up to you. It's nothing to do with anything else. And having your family determine your family name and family heritage determine that for you, that's weak, right? That is not what a successful person looks for. That is not how a successful person thinks. You know what I'm saying? These things are just irrelevant. But yeah. What else can we talk about? What does some, I got to say though, in some Muslim countries, not all, but some, family values seem to be better treated than in Western countries. I feel like some Muslim countries out there respect family values more than, say, the modern version of Western cultures, kind of. And like I said, I didn't really want to touch on culture because, like I said, it's all subjective. It's all different for various reasons. But personally, from what I've seen, just from what I've seen and heard, family values seem to be more important in Muslim countries than with some Western countries. Why that is, I don't know. It wasn't always like that. I felt like we were on par with anyone when it came to family values, but apparently that's gone away with the dodo and doesn't seem to matter anymore. So that's something of interest. I guess you could look and say whether or not there's success or failure because of that. I guess we will see. Oh, it's hot. Cold beer on a hot day. Yeah. It's the only way you can beat it sometimes. Let me think. Are there any other important factors when it comes to what makes the country the best country? If we're going to talk about health systems, as long as you have access to good quality healthcare at an affordable price for you, I don't think there should be. I don't know if we can rate that. I don't even know if we should rate that because it's all subjective. Again, don't always have access to the technology, but you could still get good healthcare. Technology doesn't define healthcare, so it helps, makes a difference in detecting stuff and doing things, but ultimately, it's not it comes down to the people that are doing it, whether the people are capable or not of figuring out what's going on. You can do that without technology. So it's harder, but you can. So when I rate countries around the world, and what I would say the best country is currently, if I take everything into account, I would say based on opportunity, based on availability of services and everything, and freedoms, I think America would be up there. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think it would be. Like, I want to put Australia up there, and I think it is, but just don't feel like we give the same opportunities. Like I said, with the technology and innovation, I feel like that's a big point, and how we cut down everyone that starts being successful, and how expensive it is to live here, etc. So, feel like we're on par in a lot of ways, and sometimes even a little better. But I feel like they've got us in some things, and I think ultimately it's an overall thing. It's a holistic view, and still got some catching up to do. That's all I'll say. In Australia, as far as the rest of the world, depends on the country. And again, lastly, I'll finish on the note: if you are going to immigrate to another country, again, I'm just going to touch on it. Pick a country that speaks a language the same or similar, one you can understand and learn quickly, one has similar culture, it's going to give you the opportunities you're looking for. That is going to give you the best chance of success if you're going to change country. Don't pick a country that is completely different to what you're living in unless you have no choice. Like there's a massive war on and you'll die if you stay kind of thing. Like it's, yeah. Because honestly, you can't change who you are. So you're going to have to pick a country where you're most likely to be able to live. Because being able to live is the definition of whether you're successful or not, right? In most circumstances. So it's not about money. It's about whether or not you can live there and whether or not you can be successful there. That's the important thing. Not money. Don't look at it and go, oh, that person earns more money, so I want to go there. Because you might go there and you can't live there. You don't know the language, don't know the lifestyle, not acclimatized to the cost of there. It's all subjective. So just think about that. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you on the next video.